Hello everyone! Today I am in the garden and this is my dog Cherry. Say hello Cherry. And I thought I will take my camera out and see what we can see in the garden today. And I'm going to give myself a challenge to think, just to try and create some photographs which challenge me to look at nature and think a little bit more in depth about it, and hopefully I'll be able to share the results with you a bit later on. Hey, see you later. I hope you're all okay. Bye. Hello there. I have just finished taking photos, but before I share them with you, I thought I would just tell you a little bit about my experience this afternoon. For the photography today, I used this Canon EOS 5D Mark IV with a 70-200 lens and a macro lens. This is a 100mm lens. You can see on the side there are some settings. The first one allows you to control your focal distance from full to 0.5 to infinity to 0.3 meters to 0.5 meters. Under that you can see a switch which enables you to control autofocus or manual focus, and underneath that you can see the control for the stabilizer. This remained on throughout my shoot. This is the 70-200 lens that I used, and you can see that it also has a series of settings on the side which are similar to the ones on the macro lens. For taking the photos, I set my camera up so that the image quality was on RAW and large JPEG. My picture style was standard. My white balance was set to auto white balance, and my date was set to the correct date and time. As it was a really bright sunny day, I selected an ISO speed of 100 and then modified this throughout the shoot according to the light and to balance the exposure triangle. On the right hand side you can see that I selected the drive mode as one shot, and I also selected evaluative metering. I used the creative modes on the left hand side between shutter speed priority, aperture priority and full manual mode. As I went into the garden I noticed this hyacinth and thought about the light and how I could photograph the hyacinth from different angles. I looked through the foliage and I zoomed in closer to go inside the petals. I noticed these beautiful red leaves blowing in the wind and tried to capture them with a fast shutter speed and a wide opened aperture so that I could create a nice bokeh effect in the background. I noticed these beautiful apples which are in a state of decay. You can see that the light is behind and part of the apple is in shadow, creating an interesting lighting effect. I moved around the apples to look for different compositional ideas and to check out the light from different directions. I zoomed into the apples to take a closer look. I found this beautiful moss which reminded me of icicles and the patterns that they make, and I enjoyed photographing the beautiful textures of the wood and creating quite dreamy images. I noticed this decaying flower and how the light was passing through the petals. I photographed it with a wide open aperture to throw the background out of focus and created quite a beautiful yet eerie image. I found this beautiful yellow flower and thought how wonderful it looked against the blue sky. I noticed these beautiful daffodils just blowing in the wind. Look how fantastic the light is. To photograph the birds, I changed my lens to the 70-200 and positioned my camera on a tripod. I placed the bird feeder in one of the thirds and then waited and observed and watched the behaviour of the birds. I used a fast shutter speed to freeze the action. In one of the images, I captured the wings in motion by slowing the shutter speed down. All of the time, paying attention to the shutter speed, the ISO and the aperture, making sure that all three balanced so that I could get the perfect exposure.
Ooh, it's very cold. So I'm going to go back in now and I'm going to make my little slideshow and then I'll share that with you later, and I'll have a think about what I did and how I did it, and I'll write some top tips. Okay, speak to you later.